Hey guys, so I just wanted to give a further clarification over yesterday's video on something really creepy happening in the motel. Namely, why would a whistleblower be targeted for just exposing somebody's legal bills being paid? Like, I really had to think about that. Like, why would even Jae-myung right now be in jail for having his legal bills be paid? Yes, it could be a bribe, but why that bribe out of so many to choose from? Why does that have a particular red line? Why does that touch a nerve? You have to take yourself out of the shoes of the system that you're living in. So at first I thought, what is the big deal? If his legal fees are paid for by somebody else, wouldn't that just make the legal system and justice system work better? No, because that assumes that the legal system is working properly and fairly. But if it's broken, and if it's corrupt, then think about it. What happens if somebody else pays your bill? So here's the rub. The people with the best lawyers in a corrupt system can get away with the most. That means the scale of what you can get away with increases. So on the grandest scale of it, you basically can become president. On the grandest scale of it, the amounts of the contracts that you can con your way into become unlimited. The things that you can renege on become bigger. And so I think that essentially becomes unchecked power. Now it's all in contracts in the legal system because you can literally force your way. And we have seen that this guy likes to use systems to force people into areas where they are vulnerable and can't do anything about. Namely, like his brother, he tried to put him into a psych ward. And in this current case with the whole mystery with the motel, he totally denies everything. But there is a lot of hubbub, especially over this weekend. There are people in the National Assembly that are literally just saying that there are so many questions and doubts and suspicions over a third person going to the netherworld associated with the presidential candidate that I am shocked. So it's like kind of like, you know, if somebody in the US Congress, not somebody, many Congress people in the US Congress were accusing like a candidate of like suspicions that they're offing people. I wanted to also give you an update on the power of having fancy lawyers. Now, this case was given to the prosecutors here in Seoul 4 months ago. It could have been investigated and wrapped up, but it's now held in limbo. What is the advantage of that? The longer it's held in limbo, the longer you can just do nothing about it. It got transferred to the prosecutors in Suwon, which is a district within his state, where he has contacts. Now, what I've been told actually personally, the advantage of having like a really expensive law firm, one of the things that you can do is have the contacts with all of the judges. And if you really want to basically like let a lawsuit sit for years and just get stale, that is one of the things that they can provide at that law firm for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's just one of the services. Yeah, so essentially that is power, and that comes from money. And if you have somebody paying your legal fees, that is an unfair advantage, and that is something that can put you in an unfair position to take something from somebody else. And that it really would rankle people, because then you will feel like where they're taking something that is yours. It's in the Suwon's prosecutor's office, and it's just sitting there collecting dust, and nothing is being done about this investigation. So probably it's just being stalled, and then after the presidential election is over, it can be dealt with quietly and then swept under the rug. That's what expensive lawyers do. So for the common people, this is where they see it face to face, where you can see like, oh my gosh, the danger of what happens if you have like an unlimited credit card of like fancy lawyers, how dangerous it is to go up against somebody like that. There was a report that was just released by KBS. Some woman, when I looked at this, I was just like, this sounds so stupid, but this woman got sued by her own building manager for like $100,000 for her parking spot. He was so vengeful. He's just like an employee of the building, but he's acting like he owns the whole thing. Meanwhile, she owns her unit. He took away her elevator access. He basically took away her parking access. And then when she started to complain, and even before he got there, like he had just recently started working there, she had been parking there for years. He then basically said that, oh, she was parking there illegally for 5 years, and then sued her for like $100,000, saying that those are racked up illegal fines. And so now she has to fight this in court. This is egregious, and what happens when you have vindictive people like this. And I'm telling you, people, I think, are becoming much more aware of what these types of people can do, and that is why I think people are very upset about this type of a case, and why it is a big deal where somebody would potentially get rid of somebody who would expose a potential presidential candidate who may have had his legal fees paid for. Because legal fees being paid for by some other entity means that, let's say like this building manager, he's also harassing like the gym downstairs. He's trying to make the gym, he's saying like, well, you know, the gym, he's taking away his parking rights. Well, basically saying like, I'll give you like $50,000 if you leave. This gym owner invested like $500,000 in the gym. Suddenly, if this gym owner leaves, he can take over the gym and not have invested $500,000. Suddenly, he opens up the gym and he gets to decide to give all the customers parking. He's raking in all of the money. Then you start building an empire based on that. You see how you can build up step by step by using the power and manipulating the legal system through fancy lawyers. This is why people do not like having these types of people being able to access fancy lawyers in a corrupt and unjust system where other people have no recourse. And it is on such a level where it irks the public that perhaps in a motel room, somebody left this planet a little bit too early. All right, guys, so what do you think? This is just getting creepier by the day. I hope something can happen, but I think there's a lot of anger in the political circles because it seems as if that they're really concerned that he's just gonna get away with it. Leave your comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Tune in next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Love you.